Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to meet you, to meet all of you, wherever you are. At any time you are, watching me for the first time in the first preliminary introductory class or session. This course is called Introduction to American Literature, and its number is English 487, okay, if I'm not mistaken, okay. This course, as its name, says, it's an introductory course to the American literature. I'll be your instructor for this course. My name is Dr. Bassam Abu Zaid. And hopefully we keep in touch with each other till the end of the semester through the contact details that are shown, at the end of the PowerPoint file. We'll come to these details at the end of the lecture. It's just something to start with, This lecture is just to introduce you to the course syllabus, okay, and then to the distribution of the grades and how to contact me, okay. First of all, regarding the course syllabus, as you see, and as every course syllabus is called, it's called, tentative course syllabus. And tentative means suggestive, which means it's not a final, it's not definite. Okay, that means we may change, this plan, according to any circumstances that we, find it, or we face it during the semester. Okay, as you see, the first page, the name of the title of the course, okay, and then the number of the course, and then we come to the objectives of this course. And as you see and you can read, I'll read with you fast. So the course aims at exposing the students of English language and literature to different literary and cultural canons of the English-speaking world. Okay, through the wide scope. Second, through the wide scope and through the wide scope of reading, the course aims at giving the students an ample opportunity to trace the development of American literature, being dependent on the English literature to be a real, independent, and even influential in it. Third, the course aims at exposing the students to the intercultural nature of the American literature. And one of the main objectives of the course, this is the last objective, is to develop the students' literary taste and analytical and critical skills. Okay, these are the objectives that are expected to be achieved by the end of the course, and I hope we do our best to achieve all of them, or most of them. Okay. And as you see, for every course has its own references, textbooks. Of course, the textbooks, recommended here are, major references in English literature, okay, in general, and in American literature in particular. Of course, you are not required to buy any of these, because these are, big, large size, textbooks, and they are usually a bit expensive. So, but of course, I recommend and I advise you as English major students to buy or at least have one of these references, because these references are important for you as English major students to keep with you for good, because these references are valid, for, let's say, long life validity they have. Okay, so you can use, they are just like dictionaries, so you can refer to them at any time. regarding to their, publishing, date. Okay, these references, as they, listed to you, the Norton Anthology to American Literature, okay, which is this series, the Norton series, is one of the most important and one of the most common and famous series in English literature in general, whether it is American or Canadian or Australian or any other, types of literature. But, talking particularly about English and American literature, the Norton Anthology and Norton series is really very famous series in English literature. So the first one is the Norton Anthology of American Literature, and the other one is also the same title but of different people, of different authors. The first one is by Murphy, the second is by Bain, the Norton Anthology of American Literature, and a different edition. The third one is the Norton Anthology of English Literature. This is this one is specialized in English literature, and it is listed here because the American literature is in a way considered to be an extension to the American, to the English, to the let's say the British English literature. Okay, so this is also another reference to use or to refer to, especially when we talk about British English literature, but still it's of much use for you even in studying American literature. The fourth one is a book that is called Major Writers for Early American Literatures. It's also a nice book by Emerson Everett, and it's this book. This book, has a list of great, famous American writers with their famous and most important pieces of literature. So this text or this book has about 9 famous American writers. Okay, this book might not be available in the bookstores, but still, if you find it anywhere at a good price, you may buy it and keep it with you as a reference for this book or for any other course that is related to American literature. The other books that are mentioned in number 1 and 2 and number 1 and 2, they are books like these. Okay, this is one of the Norton Anthology textbooks. It's called a Norton Anthology. Okay, the Norton Anthology of American Literature. Okay. This is how this is how it looks. Okay, and the book I think is available in the bookstores, but you don't need to buy it. Okay, it's enough to stick to, for this course at least, it's enough to stick to the contents of the course that will be available for you with each lecture. Because the contents of this lecture is sort of a compiled material. I compiled it from different textbooks, which is this one, the Norton Anthology to American Literature, and this one, the Norton Anthology to English, the Norton Introduction to Literature in general, that includes, American writers and some parts of the American literature. And then we have this one as a third reference. Besides, as you see, the last textbook or the last reference, اللي هو the websites. Okay, of course I refer to many websites to collect my material, and they'll be also given to you in one file that has the whole material, including the websites. The website for each part of this of the contents of this material. Regarding the evaluation or distribution of grades, that's something also you all know, but just something to remind you with. As you all know, we have the total points, 100 points, are divided into 4 parts. 10 points for the topics for discussion, 10 about 14 questions, and they'll be provided very soon, and they'll be general questions about American literature. And later on, when we meet for the first time in one of the live sessions, I'll let you know about the importance of these topics for discussion, because some of them will be important for the final exam. Okay, some of the questions of the final exam might be taken from these topics for discussion. So that means you have to take these topics seriously. Okay. And when it comes to these topics for discussion, you please do your best to do it yourselves. Okay, don't let anybody else do it for you. And when you do it, don't just do this business of copying and pasting. Try to be precise, short, brief, and correct at the same time, relevant in your answer. Okay, and if you are not sure about any answer, you can check with me. There are sometimes some general open-ended questions. These can be answered in different ways according to your opinion or your attitude towards whatever is whatever is included or required in the question. So the 14 topics for discussion will be some of them will be important for the final exam. Then we'll have the what you may call quizzes. There will be 3 quizzes, and they'll be hopefully will be simple. They'll be divided. The quizzes will be 3. The 10 points will be divided as into 3 quizzes. First will be out of 3 points, second will be out of 3, and then number 3, third quiz will be also out of 4. That means 10 points. And the quizzes, the 3 quizzes will be of multiple choice questions. I'll give you questions related to American literature, and there will be multiple choice questions on some extracts, quotations, pieces of American literature, like maybe some poetry or some parts of fiction, a part of a story or a novel or whatever. Okay, you'll know about it later. Then we come to the live lectures, and they'll be announced, of course, sometime ahead, before their due date. So, and you need to attend these live sessions or live lectures, because they are part of the participation, part of the 30 points. So they are given 10 points. And then we come to the final exam, which is out of 70, which is the most important part of the course. Okay, it's 70 points. That means you need to put a lot of work and to work hard to gain or get as much as possible out of the 70 in the final exam. The final exam will be comprehensive, inclusive. Okay, that means it includes everything that we study from the very beginning of the semester to the very end, from lecture 1 to lecture 14, okay, including the questions of the quizzes and some of the topics for discussion, okay. And then we talk more about the final exam when we meet for the first time or the second time in a live session. But of course, as you all know, the final exam will be all multiple choice. You will not be asked to write anything other than your names. The questions will be all multiple choice, A, B, C, D. Then and last, we will come to the contents of each lecture. Okay, we'll have about 14 lectures as usual, and let's say as if we are meeting once a week, just like the regular students we meet here at the university. So you are almost the same, and I think also you have a better chance to to read and understand the material and to review it at your own time, to check with me. Okay, so you have really great opportunity and chance to improve your English and to know more about the contents of the course. Okay, we come to the contents of the course. هو week 1 will be sort of a general and brief introduction to American literature. We'll talk in one class, in the first class, about the importance of the American literature and how it started, where it started, and great writers or great people or first people who started to be considered as American literary important figures, okay, with some dates. Okay, and just something also to mention here, that this course, this is really important. I want you all to pay attention to what I'm saying here. At least the first half part of the classes, okay, our lectures, depend mainly, basically, on your reading and memorizing details, because the first part of the course, let's say about the first maybe 6 or 7 weeks or 7 lectures, will be sort of a background on the American literature and the different movements and the different people with different dates and names. So these things really all what they need is just to read again and again and memorize for the exams. Okay, and it's not just like let's say some mathematical problems that you need to understand, or physics problems that no, these just need a lot of reading and memorizing. Okay, so here we talk about in the first week about American literature in general, and then from this point here we decide on how to continue with the other weeks. The next lectures, the next weeks will be just as we say in the first one, as we agree upon something that is let's say called dividing the literature of America, or the American literature, into different parts, different movements. Okay, these movements are discussed separately in each week. So the first week will in the first week, second week, or second lecture, we discuss, as you see, week 2, the colonial literature, the colonial movement. Okay, as number 1. Then we next third week, or week 3, we jump to the second movement, اللي هي romanticism. Then week 4 to the third movement, اللي هي realism. Then fourth movement, week 5 naturalism. Then week 6 to modernism. Okay. In week 7, we also come to an important movement in an important part of American literature that is called the Harlem Renaissance, or Harlem movement. Okay, which is a very important part of the American literature. It's of course a recent movement. Then the rest of the lectures, starting from week 8, ending with week 13. In each week, or each lecture, we'll discuss now real pieces of literature, of American literature. We start with Of course, these works of literature are divided into the three main genres of literature, اللي هو poetry, fiction, and drama. And usually I start with poetry because it's considered to be the oldest, okay, and the most original genre. So poetry as a first genre, we'll discuss two poems by Emily Dickinson, okay. The first one is called Because I Could Not Stop for Death, okay. The other one is called Hope is the Thing with Feathers. Both are by Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson is one of the most famous American literary figures, okay. So you have to remember this name, and then of course a short biography on this person, okay. This also we'll discuss again in the coming lectures, but something to keep in mind that we have to just have a list of some of the most important figures, and to remember the short biographies on each of them, okay. And biography here I mean the life of each of these. A biography of Emily Dickinson means to a brief history about the life of Emily Dickinson, and then about the other writers that we are going to mention in the next lectures. So we'll have poetry in one lecture, just two. Two will be enough as just an example. You can go for more if you like by referring to the textbooks or references that I mentioned, or to websites also, which are very much available. Then the next lecture, or lecture number 9, or week 9, we have the fiction genre. In fiction here, we mean what? Stories, novels, novellas, stories of different kinds, short or long. Okay, whether they are short or long, I mean short stories or novels. Of course, we don't have much time to discuss novels and for you to read novels. So I chose, selected two nice, famous, prominent, let's say, short stories, and they are very interesting. The first one is called, The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin. Kate Chopin is a lady, is a writer. She is one of the most famous, one of the very famous, let's say, American writers. And she wrote many stories defending the woman rights in the States in the beginning of the, let's say, early 18th and 19th century. When we come to the story, I hope that you like it. It's really an interesting one. Okay, so also we need to know about Kate Chopin, and we read the story. Then week 10 will be another piece of fiction, another short story that is called Telltale Heart. Telltale Heart is also one of the masterpieces in English literature and in American literature by one of the most important literary figures, Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, Edgar Allan Poe is also a name that you need to remember all through this course. Okay, and then in lecture 11, week 11, another piece of fiction also. This one is sort of a novel. Okay, it's a long story, but of course we don't have much time to read, and just to make it easy for you, I just selected parts of this novel. I think it's chapter 1, 2, and the last chapter. I don't remember the exact number of the last chapter. So just to have an idea about the beginning of the novel and then the end of the novel, so you can have an idea about the novel in general. But we can read about about the novel in summaries that tell about the whole novel in general. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, okay, by Mark Twain. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is also another masterpiece in American literature. Is one of the most famous novels in American literature by a very famous writer اللي هو Mark Twain. Also this name you need to remember all through the semester, Mark Twain. Okay, then because it's a long one, we cover it in 2 weeks or 2 lectures. So 12 will be also again discussing Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Okay, when we come to these parts, اللي هو poetry, fiction, and drama, we'll talk more about the elements of each genre. Okay, the elements of each genre, يعني what makes each genre, okay, what to discuss when we read a piece of poetry, a piece of fiction, a piece of drama, okay. Then we come to number 13. Number 13 is the third genre, which is called the drama, okay. Drama which is considered with plays, of course, and I'm sure that you know that. And we'll have just one sample or one example of an American drama. It's a short. I looked for a short, drama. I think it's 1 act play by Susan Glaspell. Susan Glaspell. That is all. And then 14, اللي هو last lecture, will be general revision and discussion of the whole course. And if there are questions raised all through the semester, I'll just collect them and answer them, or highlight your questions or your suggestions in this last lecture. Okay, I think that's all as an introductory lecture for this course. And inshallah, very soon you will have the first 2 or 3 lectures available for you, so you can start reading and getting ready for the course. Last part of this introductory or preliminary lecture or session is the information about me and how to contact me. Here you have my mobile telephone number, which is an official number, اللي هو that is given by the Deanship of e-learning. So this is of course not my personal, and I don't please let anybody or allow anybody to call me on my personal number. Okay, so you please use this number during the office hours. I'm sorry I don't have my office hours put for you, but inshallah maybe when we meet next time I make a change. I may make a change on this course syllabus by adding the office hours, so you can call me. Also, you can call me on my extension, on my office number 1845 plus extension, interior, let's say internal extension 26. So you have to dial first university number, and then 1845, then 26. If it is changed, I'll let you know. Okay, and here you have also my email. I read my email and almost every day, and for sure I reply every message. That's all from me here. Thank you very much. Please, you send me any email very soon if you have any questions about this introduction. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice time, and see you soon in our first lecture. Okay, goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.